and it's going to be coming up with Maui and Anders in just a few moments.
real quick, it's Na'Vi today. What are your expectations for this game?
I mean, expectations against the number one in the world right now. It's going to be a rough match, but in my view, like any team can win any day. Almost like it's just the way CSGO works. Some timings here, some lucky rounds there. I mean, we're definitely going in with the mindset that we can win. So it's not as if we're going to be pushovers. I'm just hoping we can show that on the server and maybe take the win. Who knows? Anything can happen in CSGO.
Anything can happen, Maui, including beating Na'Vi as Complexity right now?
It's possible. It's possible. This is a weird veto. I don't know if Na'Vi were completely expecting it. So hopefully Peacemaker and Blame F, they did their homework. I have no doubt they did, honestly.
Yeah, they're pretty hardworking. It is a bit interesting. I mean, yesterday we had some strange vetoes as well. Overpass, OG not looking themselves on that particular map.
Right. That didn't quite work out.
No, it just didn't. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better today. Not so much for Na'Vi, but for Complexity, who did play well yesterday themselves.
Yeah, there's definitely a game plan. When you watch a Peacemaker-led team, he always brings something to the table. There's always a point of emphasis on their attack.
Yeah.
And I really have no doubt that's going to be the same today.
We're going to find out. I really can't wait for it. I think this is going to be potentially an interesting game. I really like watching Complexity so much so I almost wanted to pick them today for the I was so close to doing it. So close to doing it. But I couldn't convince myself that they were going to be able to beat Na'Vi. I just couldn't. Even if Tag says anything can happen, still not really sure I'm buying it.
I mean, he's technically not wrong, but this would be a very tough victory for Complexity. It'd be one that would instantly just elevate this team, because right now the expectations for Complexity are, you know, they're supposed to be kind of a middle of the pack team, potentially could have slightly higher highs than they did with the previous iterations of this lineup. But this one, something seems like it's working. We saw a lot of entry attempts yesterday from Esatag, BlameF, Poison. There were quite a few players, and when you look at this roster, many people would say, who's going to go running first? And yet, that was not a question. There were a lot of people that were very willing to do that.
Yeah, nice to have. I mean, you need some people to commit to those kind of fights, and they definitely seem like they were in that position. So hopefully they could do the same. I feel like the problem against beating Na'Vi now is that it used to be just Simple and Electronic were kind of a hard duo to bring down, but the fact that Bit is just playing better and better all the time means now it's not even just a duo, it's kind of a trio that you're up against, and I just feel like it's a hard challenge that lies ahead of Complexity. We're going to be starting on Overpass. It's Na'Vi on the CT side, Complexity on the T side, and let's just get this underway already. Obviously, the underdog Complexity will have to try their best here right off the bat if they can. Ancient and Nuke are second and third, and Poison, he's leading the charge out on long. Bit hiding behind the tree. This is almost an all-in position. Good headshot taking down BlameF. He's going to be traded by JKS, though. And out here, Simple. He was actually here the whole time, but he couldn't really get that much done. Perfecto having himself his isolated 5 versus S-tag down there. Poison goes down to Simple, who was all the way backed up into the A-bomb site. So now it's a 4-on-3.
It's very spread out for both of these teams, and there's a lot of engagements being taken. But right now, Na'Vi, they feel like they're in control given that they have the man advantage. And worst case scenario, they can always just back themselves onto the bomb site. Electronic is still in a very finicky position. This is one where he can find a lot of information, and he will. Now that the door is opening up, this should be a freebie for him. Ooh, misses the timing a little bit. But yeah, he's creeping. He's stalking his prey.
Now, fair play to him for not just taking the shot, even though he knew that was kind of a missed opportunity. He maybe could have panic fired then, and that would have been a really bad move, but yeah, smooth stuff. And they're going to commit to it. They kind of know we can't really go back and find Electronic in those hallways. We might as well just proceed, but unfortunately for them, there's a huge crossfire setup. Nice shot on Boomich. Cold able to take that kill. He's going to get shot in the back of the head by Simple, but it's still a third man on the bomb site, making things very tricky for JKS with about 20 seconds left. I don't know, he could maybe go for the B bomb site, but now it's been discovered, and I think he's running out of time here. He doesn't have it, he can't really fake plant it anymore. He just has to try and see if he can get this job done. 10 seconds, 9 seconds, he's faking it actually, but there's just no time for that kind of a play. Now he has to try and run him down, but they're all over the place. He gets one and can't catch the other one. Time is going to be running out just nearly, but Electronic able to take him down.
If he had 5 or so more seconds, there's actually a chance there, but he used all the clock. There was a moment where he almost slipped the net, where he was able to get into bank. If he was able to find some positioning towards CT, could have caught off Perfecto, maybe Electronic too. Either way, Na'Vi with a unorthodox pistol, just very spread out, kind of a long emphasis, in fact, and yet they're able to put the pieces together, and that's something that Na'Vi has simply been excellent at on Overpass. They have so many different setups, and they made excellent reads in that game yesterday against OG. They were all over every single play that OG was making. It felt like they could do no wrong in terms of guessing for the right stack or finding one shred of information and then making the absolute perfect play on top of it.
Yeah, that's going to be so interesting to try and compare and contrast with that game that we saw yesterday, just to try and see if Na'Vi are able to do it against a new opponent now, or maybe Complexity have the answer that OG just couldn't find on this particular map. Bit and Electronic playing kind of near each other towards Connector and outside of B, but this is just an all-in on the A-bomb side right now for Complexity, and all they need is one good opening, and they could actually speed this up a lot right now. Boomich backing off with his trusty MP9. Bit is almost flanking them. He's so deep in on the map right now. Yeah. He is, in fact, flanking them.
He is. Once again, Na'Vi with all of the information. Although, it does look like Complexity have a potential contingency plan. Oh, Poison, though. Getting Simple off of the bomb site. And now Boomich is worried, but this flank from Bit is finally activated here. Finds the bomb, finds a couple of kills. Boomich pushes up on top of it. This is when Na'Vi just tightens the grip on the Complexity attack. And right now, Na'Vi are in just such control.
Disappointing for Complexity having got that opening kill, although JKS able to take down Boomage, so still a 3-on-3, and they know where Bit is. They're gonna go look for him. Cold able to take him down. That's a pretty good shot there with the Deagle, and the follow-up is there. They drop Perfecto next. Electronic on his own with 9 seconds left. If he stops the bomb, he could run and probably win the round, but he's not quite sure. Oh, and they bait it out. They fake out that bomb plant. JKS will take him down, and that is some sweet revenge for Complexity.
Na'Vi were all over the site. They had so many players in what looked like great positions, but all those just micro duels were starting to go the way of Complexity. Here's the shot. Poison hit to start. Wow, that is fast. That is a great shot from Poison to find the entry there. Bold to take the swing there for Simple, but you know that's something that's just characteristic of his play. Constantly brazen and audacious.
Yeah, I mean, you almost don't even want to criticize him for it because he makes it work so much of the time. But this time, it did blow up a little bit in their face. I thought this round was done when Bit went for that double kill, walking up behind them. The fact that they're able to recover the round Complexity after that is pretty cool.
I noticed Poison puts the silencer back on the A1S.
Good.
That's, yeah, I'm pleased to see that. Simple. Oh. Ooh, that's going to make Complexity think about that smoke a little bit, because it's clearly not where it was supposed to land, but it doesn't actually give a real window for him to use.
Yeah, I thought maybe they try and just shoot it at the edges. You never know if someone's creeping through, but they trust it. What is up with Simple and the silencer being off different guns?
Yeah, we noticed yesterday that when he spawned, his USP wasn't silence. I don't know what he's going for there. It's cool, you know. I think it's style. I think it just has to be style that he thinks he's so far ahead of the competition. He can take a gun, make it objectively worse, and yet still succeed with it.
Just a statement. Well, smoke goes off. S-Tag, I don't know, he kind of heard that, but didn't want to try and challenge it. Maybe could have pushed through, but fair play to him. They don't want to be giving up this round so easily. 3-man stack at B, about to be a 5-man stack. So Na'Vi again going for a bit of an early rotation. There's only 25 seconds left, but they're about to have a lot of people in this bomb site, and that could be a problem for Complexity. S-Tag trying to open it up. Simple will get the kill. Boomage with a double, and Electronic helping out, and this is just all over and done. They didn't have a lot of time, and they got not even a single entry kill to try and get onto the bomb site. What a disaster.
This blew up in Complexity's face. They didn't take enough map control away from Na'Vi. But this is, once again, Na'Vi, they didn't have perfect information, and yet they still went for this stack. And this is something that Na'Vi has been doing so much lately. And when it happened versus OG, we saw that usually there were pieces of information that they gathered, they put the clues together, and then they were able to solve the mystery of where the attack was coming from. This happened in the previous round, but it didn't look like it was as proactive in terms of them taking so much away from Complexity. It was just a little bit. And Complexity, I mean, they're being read right then. That's a little bit of a hard read coming out from Na'Vi.
It definitely is, and even with pistols, right, it's enough. You have 5 people on the bomb site, and no time. I mean, I guess this would have also been different if Complexity had 50 seconds left. Maybe they could have canceled it off after S-Tag went down, but they were just so committed to it. Electronic not going to stick around for the fight. Happy to fall back. A little bit of an awkward position for Perfecto. He doesn't fall back, and now they're just trading in favor of Na'Vi, though, and Poison out in the open, hoping to catch a gun. Not going to happen. Simple will end the round with a double.
That's a worrying sign. Simple just instantly deleting people in the server there. A little bit of an explosive play from Complexity. They want to take the whole mid-round away and just move in within the first 30 seconds of the round. And it was looking good for a second, but not quite enough. Not quite enough to unseat Na'Vi on this site.
No, but a good attempt, fair play. Would have been very cool if they could have got the bomb plant down just to keep the money going. Couldn't have been buying in this upcoming round, but it adds up down the stretch of it. Yeah, you're right. Simple is, even in spite of that earlier walk into the scout, he is right back on track, doing really well. Just some deagles in play on the one deagle on BlameF.
I think one of the big questions about Complexity now is fair that people have been asking who is going to be moving on forward first, who's going to be the entry player. Oh, okay, he still reacts to it, but Complexity right now, they're in a state of transition, and that's obvious. They're moving in with this Cold Zera pickup. he's obviously one of the best players ever to play kind of that 5th in role. He probably is just the best to ever do it. And that was kind of BlameF's position, more or less. BlameF was a little bit more lurky than Cold was when he was at his peak of power in terms of LG and SK. But yeah, it's something where you're giving up a player in BlameF that was a top 10 player last year, and now he's simply playing a completely different role, but he's actually looking pretty good at it. His stats were actually solid at Pro League, and Complexity definitely surprised people with a few of the victories that they were able to accomplish. They made it to the playoffs.
So BlameF in your is just taking over the entry role, trying to do that more now.
Well, as of the series yesterday, the most entry frags were between Esatag and BlameF. I think they were both tied with 9. So that guy as well, he was supposed to be one of the entry players for the Cloud9 project, but then the roles just constantly were shifting there. So we never really could see exactly what Esatag was best at. I mean,
if you're also going to be captaining the team, it is kind of cool to have, first-hand information of what's happening as you're running into the bomb site, even if you're dead, right? There's no like link of chain or information happening, right? You're the guy who saw everything. You can just recall it back to the team immediately and make a call right then and there. So I guess that could be a benefit. But as you said, he's very good at being in 5th also. So yeah, you're trading something for something else here. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out as the game goes on here. Maybe we'll learn something new today. 4-1 in favor of Na'Vi regardless, and setting up mostly outside of the B bomb site. A little bit of a trade there. Electronic on his own now, though, and JKS well handled. Backs off and tries to use the door against him in that fashion. Simple now going to be showing up, but he seems to be ready for it. JKS, this is a huge off angle. Might be very hard for Simple to actually check this properly. He's not quite aiming for it, and JKS will take him down. Well played.
That's very well played from JKS. He even had his bell rung in that little scuffle with Electronic, and he was still able to maintain composure, win the fight, and now Complexity are in a prime position, but Boomich is backing off the B side. Looks like he will join Bit at A, and that's the one win condition for Na'Vi now. They are in the right position to meet this attack from Complexity. Yeah. And Bit's on a flank. Oh, man, this could get really dicey in just a moment. Boomich is going to find out everything for Bit. He gets one, looking for more. He's going to throw some utility, gets caught off, though. And now Bit, he has to do it all from the flank. This would have been so much stronger had Boomich been alive. And he presses on forward. Oh, it makes some noise. They should be aware of his position at this point, and if they triangulate it, Cold Zera takes him down. A well-played round from JKS.
That really looked like all Boomich had to do. You're right, just stay alive. If throwing the grenades, fine, but just don't even risk it. And it looked like he sort of got stuck on something backing up as well. It got a bit awkward in the end, but yeah, if he'd have got this kill and just instantly fell back, they wouldn't have had time. They would have been shot in the back by a Bit, almost certainly. But actually, that's another round that looks like Na'Vi are making that call earlier on. They don't know necessarily that it's going to be an A hit, but they rolled the dice on it, and they were right once again. They just messed up one little thing. So still some great rotations coming out of the CT side of Na'Vi on overpass. It's actually really fun to watch.
They do seem to have just such incredible macro understanding of what the opponent is going to be doing, and that does continue there. This is an interesting setup towards short, though. Oh, Simple peeks into the double, and Electronic does find a trade. Can he find more? No. Esatag is able to keep the advantage in favor of Complexity. And once again, Na'Vi, they're down their 2-star players, and it's up to the others to try to pick the pieces together.
Smoking it off there is Perfecto. Don't know if he saw someone out there. Nade will certainly tack him up. That's going to be a little bit annoying. Bomb is all the way back on Cold Zera, and Poison is sort of checking out the A side of the map. I'd like this because we keep mentioning that if you don't put some pressure on Na'Vi, they're going to rotate. Nice. Well, that's a lot of pressure. Taking down Bit, but even just getting spotted, I would have been okay with. If they fall back to the B bomb site and go for it, at least Na'Vi can't just straight rotate and get 3 people on the bomb site. And now they definitely can't. Poison's got the site. Bomb is with 30 seconds, which is a bit scary when it's in T-spawn, but they'll make it.
Yeah, they know that, or at least we know that there's no one that will be there to contest him. Boomich finds a return, and these are going to be guns that they want to save into the upcoming round. No real hope in this one. Complexity, once again, they just get the better of these early round engagements, and then they are able to find the proper mid round. But it's a lot easier when you do get these kills. That's a bit of a call out for Simple there. The fact that the door is open and they're double holding for that exact swing, it's well put together.
Yeah, that worked incredibly well. And you're right, they're going to be saving it instantly. So Complexity with the third round on the board. It's nice. I mean, it's good to see them able to slow down Na'Vi a little bit early on in this game before things get really out of control. And Poison he just did that work on his own.
Poison was really instrumental in their victory on Nuke, especially yesterday. His rifle work in particular was impressive, and it's something, this has been something that we've been seeing a little bit more, that a lot of riflers on Nuke especially, they don't really, or oppers, they don't want to use the op as much on the T side, and we've seen some great performances from Cirque, actually.
Yeah.
That was a surprise from EG earlier at the Blast Fall groups, and Poison kind of, you know, he holds, or he carries the torch on forward. I think he was the main person and the main reason that Complexity won that game yesterday.
Yeah, I hope they're going to need to see him at that level once again here, surely against someone like Simple. So it'll be interesting if those two are going to clash. Alex, you've expressed a fondness for Overpass.
Yes.
And I try and always notice what the community tends to not like, and I feel like Overpass is, I don't know if it's number one, but it's still high up there, I think, in terms of what people don't like to play. So how do you persuade the rest of the Counter-Strike community to play more Overpass?
Overpass offers so many different engagements and so many ways to play out different situations. There's so much more room for outplay, and the way I propose Overpass to some of my friends that are not really as competitive is that you will be rewarded for raw aim, and you'll be rewarded for outpositioning people.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a map where you just take a lot of 50-50 fights. There's usually someone that's heavily advantaged in nearly every single fight on the map. And so if you have a read of the situation and you know what's probably coming next, if you have that foresight, you can make your life very easy on this map, because it's tough for people to just spin around and get you, because there's so much uneven ground, there's so many different surfaces, so many different pieces of cover, that it's not like the polar opposite of Overpass for me is Cache. That map can really just devolve into an aim map at times, where it's just so many flat angles, headshot. Everyone has perfect crosshair placement on Cache. Overpass is a totally different story.
Also, I mean, a map like Cache, where the rotation times are so small, you can, as a new player, be really hard to figure out. You know, you might make a call and say, "There's 3 people here," but that could be obsolete 5 seconds later. They could just be in middle somewhere else. I tend to play long on Overpass. I just like that. And one of the things that's so much fun is, even if you don't run into anyone for that long aim fight that everyone likes to have, just if you find the playground area empty, the amount of help you could be to your team just by calling it out, and you know that they can't just swing back and be at the A-bomb site 2 seconds later. If they're not at that part of the map and they're not in connector, well, you can make some pretty good calls even at a low level of Counter-Strike. So yeah, I think it's cool. I kind of like the map too, but I don't know. I've noticed some people, even some pros, tend to dislike it.
The problem I see for Overpass with most people is being a rifler on the T side. I think that's probably I think that's most people's least favorite thing about the map, because you have very few options in terms of what you can do as a wide swing or just a dry peek. If you're playing against good oppers or people that just can hold angles decently, you have to use so much utility, or you have to have a player next to you to trade basically every single angle, and there are so many angles to get to A. You have to clear out fountain, you have to clear out party, top con, bathroom. I mean, there's just so many options for CTs that if you aren't doing your due diligence in terms of nade protocols and utility in order to take space away from the CTs, then you're gonna die. You're just gonna die, because if you swing into an op that's playing at A and he's dynamic and he's all over the place, you're going to walk into his crosshair at some point or another in the round. It's very bad to just play the op on A on the site as soon as the round starts. You never see that, because you have so many different opportunities, and there are specific routes that a lot of the top oppers like to take, whether the first peak is towards con, long, or fountain. Then they have kind of a routine that they usually fall into, and that's why players like Simple are exciting, because they'll do that, but then they'll take a completely different fallback route than say a more standard player.
Well, speaking of which, something that we saw yesterday when they were playing OG on this map was actually that aggression that was coming out from especially Simple over at the birthday party area, the sort of the run-up, take this fight. That was something that was very hard to deal with, and it was, I think, was a bit electronic that was joining. I can't remember, but they had a very powerful setup, really far deep on the map like that. But they didn't start out that way. I think it was like 5 or 6 rounds in that they started doing it. It was a little bit slow to begin that trip for Na'Vi. So I'm sure Complexity are looking for it, but
Na'Vi used at least 5 different defenses on gun rounds in that game. The only repeat one I saw was a solo bit A. That was probably one of the only times I saw a repeat defense.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard to get a beat on Na'Vi because they constantly are changing things up. They're moving around players. They're not even just moving positions. Sometimes they just straight up say, electronic, you go A for a round. So there's things that they do that will always make them such a tough team to anti-strat, because with other teams, there's tendencies you can read into. You can read, if you wanted to target, say, Mouse Sports, you kind of know what A-Core is going to do a lot of the time.
Right.
But if you look at a team like Na'Vi, you might have an idea of a few of the setups that they run, but it's hard until you die to know what setup they're in.
How much of a problem would you say that is, inside a team? What happens if you go to a position where let's say Bit is supposed to be holding, but you find electronic there? How much of a break in the communication is that on the T side? You're like, wait, that was the wrong person. Like, does it slow the team down, or can you sort of guess what might be happening?
You can make a guess because there's probably a handful of setups that they run with electronic in those kinds of positions. But in the moment, the players are definitely just thinking, we got to get this guy out. We got to kill this guy.
Yeah.
So it depends. I mean, we saw that on Dust 2 especially. They would just throw electronic at A, and it just ruined everything OG did in those rounds.
Yeah. Well, 8th round is coming up. The technical timeout has been fixed, so we appreciate that. And let's just see. There is the 8WP and the AK that was saved from the previous round for Na'Vi, and some Deagles in play, as Tag has been throwing that nade with some regularity, kind of on his own. But let's not underestimate the AWP of Simple in this round. He can find a lot of kills, and he's already out looking.
He's already posted, and they're not forcing him off the position. He's looking around. There may be a timing where he could get caught from a bathroom walk, and he knows that, so he has to push back just a little. Complexity really taking their time with it. The jump, the run boost to get out towards long. Bit may have spotted that, but Na'Vi aren't really reacting just yet. Complexity are making their way up slowly, and they're doing a good job of denying information towards Na'Vi.
They should have, even against the AWP or Simple, they should have some nades in this round that they should be able to close the distance against the AWP with. He's playing very aggressive here at the restroom. That's a little bit scary. Some AWPers, getting up close to them is, a great way to bring them down. I'm not sure that's always true with Simple. 28 seconds left, and again, Complexity not giving themselves much time. He spotted too Simple. He knows that they made their way past. Blameff is going to pick up a kill, but Simple just trying to stay alive back here. His teammates are falling on the bomb site. 18 seconds on the clock, and he still hasn't fired the gun. He's ready and waiting, and that was the guy carrying the bomb. Poison is now dead, and out Simple with a kill on JKS. Another one comes through. The bomb has once again been dropped. 5 seconds, and they go for the bomb plant. He can actually shoot through the box, and he tries. He hits Cold Syrup, but the bomb is still planted. He knew about that. What an absolute madman. Now he's walking a bit closer. He's caught out in the open, and Blameff will take him down for the 4th kill in the round for himself and tie up the scoreline 4-4.
He was so patient there at the bathrooms, and it worked out so well. That wall bang almost connected. That almost ended the round right then and there. But Complexity play it very well in the 2v1. The double swing is something where you just can't give Simple any more chances. You can't give him any more space. If he starts to get into the route that he wants to do, then it might be lights out at that point. So very nice from Complexity. Great conversion. And their utility to get into that position too was something that was admirable. They pushed Na'Vi so far back, and Na'Vi had no idea what was going on till the hit came about.
I was a bit worried that they left themselves so little time, because not the first time we've seen that. They did it on B earlier, and obviously Na'Vi themselves are a team that like to run the clock down very low. But I don't know. We'll see if they keep doing it. They seem comfortable with having Just 30, 25 seconds on the clock here, Complexity, but certainly makes me nervous. Electronic is pushed out side of the B bomb site. Perfecto was with him. He's fallen back ever so slowly. And Estag, who's been anchoring that side of the map so far, he's fine with it. He's given it up. He doesn't care.
Right. Even on a pistol round, you see Na'Vi very willing to take space away. Oh, Simple with the first duel, though. Goes down to Cold. That's a nice frag to find because it leaves Bit on an island. He's looking for something. Cold still faces, and Cold is, he's looking good right now. He's winning these fights comfortably, and Blame has already slotted himself so deep onto that A site that it catches Boomich off guard. This should be a 5th round for Complexity, and they should be able to keep quite a few players alive.
I always feel like I want to try and convey to people who might not have seen Cold Zero in his prime, because we have to respect the fact that there might be a whole, maybe even 2 generation of viewers that have never really seen what Cold Zero could do. Maybe they've seen the infamous jumping highlight clip or whatever. Like,
right.
That's fine, but obviously, I mean, just his impact on a game back in his prime was so outrageous. And he's playing well now, but I would, I'm still waiting for that return. I still think he's got a lot more in him.
It is funny that his #1 highlight ever is just not even representative of his play.
Yeah, not at all.
That's just not what he was really known for. I mean, it was always just LG, SK, they paved the way for him, get him onto a bomb site. He was the best player in a post plant, period.
Yep.
He was just simply the best. He was the closer. I almost, when I was really learning the game, just designated him. I was just saying, this has got to be a role. Just someone that's going to be on the bomb site and just dispatch of everybody in the 1v2, 1v3, whatever you put him in, 2v4. And that's where we did have the one highlight that Vince casted on the B side of Mirage, where he took out everybody. That's what you know Cold for. That was really what his bread and butter was. And he did a very similar thing on Train B side, that he just can play around one piece of cover. He in the most standard position, and yet his mechanics were so fine-tuned that he could find just absolutely max value from those spots.
Yeah, that's his special skill. The more teammates he's lost in the round, the better he gets. Just
oh yeah, he's stronger. He feeds off of their corpses.
If we were playing a MOBA game, that would be his his ability.
He's life stealer.
Exactly. 10th round is going to be coming up, and we do have the AWP on Poison and one on Simple as well. But the fact that Complexity have taken the round lead, we probably should not just be rushing past here. This is pretty impressive. And now Na'Vi, kind of similarly, they're back to this. This is what they did, in the later part of the first half against OG. They started going aggressive out here by the birthday party around the balloons. Simple is expecting a jump. Looked like he could have got it. But they take Electronic down, and that's a good start. Good start to the round.
Complexity have consistently been finding frags to start these rounds off. And it's made Blame F's job as a leader a lot easier. But we'll see if Navi's able to bite back. They need to be able to find a way to make this defense work, to find an equalizer. Oh, this might not be it. Bit gets caught off by Cold there. Goes for the swing, though, and he wins it. That's a huge frag to find, because now he's able to relay to his teammates that everything is coming towards this B side, and S-Attack is already coming out, and he catches Perfecto with a nade out. Now Boomich is here by Pit alone, and he has so much work to do, but he's being flanked. That's it. S-Attack with the triple entry on this round.
He's been, like I said, he's been anchoring B outside of B for a long time, but this time they called his cards. All right, we're finally going to come to the B bomb site. He makes it work. 3rd kill, you're right. That's actually pretty impressive. And if you're Perfecto in that moment, you've just been radioed in by Bit saying they're definitely coming B. So the fact that you get caught with a nade just feels so much worse in that moment. Obviously, that's also why he's throwing it, but the timing just worked against him that time. Unfortunate moment. That's going to be 6-4 in favor of Complexity, and their money is actually looking slightly absurd now. They're really building up a good bank on the T side.
I would love to see in a replay, did S-Attack try to beat the nades? It felt like he just walked out at that point in time.
Could have been, yeah.
I don't even know if there was a particular setup for him, and that's another reason why he can catch off someone like Perfecto. The fact that he's just kind of walking out. This is it's so scary. There's no nades. He's just out there, and it works.
Yeah, he obviously can't listen, or even if he couldn't understand the call that Bit made, but he knows a call has been made, so it's possible that he just tries to time it. He's like, you know what? If we wait 3 more seconds, then they're gonna have nades down. They're gonna have a lot of things. That's an interesting idea. 11th round. Now we actually... They look like they're being stopped in a much more repeatable way. Some of the rounds that OG got on this on the T side, we even talked about it. We're like, well, they can't really repeat that. It's good that they won the round, but there's no way to do it again. But this is looking so much better. Tag trying to get the job done on his own. BlameF on the other side. Gotta be real careful here. A little bit of damage, but he's starting to fall back. They're just looking for just aim fights into the B bomb site, and they're not winning them.
Yeah, Electronic. When you test him, this is where he can come alive. This is that was a curious opener for Complexity, for two players to walk out one by one. And we could see BlameF was also trying to just walk out Monster. It does feel like every team has their own kind of walk out B strategy nowadays, but this time it gets caught, and it will sometimes. It's a bit of a curveball strategy, and Complexity are punished for it. So now they have to reroute towards A, and we already have forward positions from Boomich and Bit.
It's interesting, right? Because you could probably repeat that round, and there's a chance that S-Tag would just find a random kill, and you think, wow, that actually worked. So, but this time, it's not really happening. Boomich, usually super lethal with that MP9. He did do a lot of damage to BlameF. Now the bomb is on the ground, and Poison is on his own. All right. That looked like a walking headshot with the AWP. He's picked up the bomb. I don't think it really matters. I mean, he's got money, so I guess he could try and just go for it, make it expensive, maybe get the bomb down on top. But certainly a very tricky round to get even close to winning here. But 7 seconds, he runs for Perfecto, trying to make it more expensive. But that's not going to happen, and it will be another round for Na'Vi.
Well done by Electronic on this early hold. Every nade there by the end for Perfecto was just nailing Poison. That must have been a little bit frustrating, but
yeah.
Well done by Na'Vi to quell this kind of play from Complexity. That's a nice shot, too. Yeah. All right.
I feel like people are getting so quick at doing those quick scopes, I guess, but...
Yes. People are definitely practicing them.
Yeah, like a lot more.
Yeah.
We saw the one yesterday from Simple where we couldn't even see the scope.
Right.
Even in slow motion, we couldn't see it.
And even just right-clicking and not seeing the scope provides slightly more accuracy. So
yeah.
There's a... I'm pretty sure it works on a gradient. Like, the longer it's scoped, the better.
I think you're right.
But either way, yeah, a lot of these operas nowadays are making it look so doable to just hit them now. So something that this is kind of the evolution of CSGO and mechanics. People are finding out more and more, and they're just getting better and better. The level is so high now in terms of individual ability.
Yeah, it's crazy to imagine. Even obviously from people we haven't even heard of. Oh, that's unfortunate. Smoke doesn't quite extinguish the fire there. But they're outside of the B bomb side, and they don't have any look at all on the A side. What they have are a couple of nades on that side, just to to try and sell the idea. But this is actually kind of dangerous. They need to go pretty quickly here, or for all they know, now they're going to stack the bomb side. There's the entry they needed earlier. Cole will go down, but he did his job just fine. All you need is that one kill getting into the bomb site, and the team will do the rest. They're going to go for the bomb plant right away. And Na'Vi, should they go for a retake here?
Oh, it doesn't feel like they have position. Unless JKS gives something up, it's hard to argue for Na'Vi to go for this. Excellent entries into that site. And S-Attack is doing a lot of work in terms of taking position away from Na'Vi, being willing to contest this water position. It's something that we didn't necessarily see from OG as much, just individuals taking space away from Na'Vi. It did, and Alexi B even said it in one of the mic'd up segments that he said, we're playing a little scared right now, and this is not a scared Complexity. They are here to challenge Na'Vi in aim duels, in fights. We saw it blow up in their face one round, but this is another one where it works for them.
I actually imagine that's something that it's probably hard to feel scared in a team playing with Cold because of his personality, and I don't think you're going to be allowed. He probably won't allow you to feel that way for long, right? I imagine he has a pretty big presence in the team just on that front, right? So I like the interview. Was it yesterday? Or maybe it was on the overtime show. I can't remember. BlameF talking about how Cole has a lot of opinions. The way that he said that made me sort of laugh a little bit. Because I could see that. I think Cole is someone who's going to be... He's not just going to show up to click heads.
Right.
He has an opinion about how to play the game too. So
it was known that he was frequently the secondary caller on those LGSK lineups. So yeah, he's a player that definitely has a mind for the game beyond just having excellent mechanics. So this time around, it looks like Complexity are going for a more standard T-side round, a 3-1-1 setup in their default. And Na'Vi too, they're meeting it with another very standard default. This is probably the most cookie cutter round you can ask for. And we'll see if Na'Vi are able to find any gaps in the Complexity attack. If there is a botch nade, that could provide an opening here, could provide some information. Because Na'Vi, once they get that single piece, they just make all the right calls.
Yeah, and this round also illustrates, I think, something that people sometimes complain about on Overpass, which is those 3 people in B are really far away from the A-bomb site. If Complexity get close and just execute, they almost can't rotate in time. So we'll see if that's going to be a feature of the map. They've kind of, I wouldn't say they've really taken, bathrooms control. They've just they've shown up outside of the restrooms, and now they're falling back. Electronic is falling back at the wrong time. I don't know how Complexity are doing this, but they're finding an incredible timing window to hit a bomb site with only 2 people defending it and 20 seconds left. Na'Vi, we've just been praising them for how good they've been at doing this, but this time it's working out against them. Perfecto nearly exploded. Double nade from outside of the bomb site. They line up for a bit of a spray down, and it's a big triple. My God, that shuts it down. 7 seconds on the clock, and that's a round 1 by Perfecto alone on 19 health.
That was such great setup from Complexity. The fact that they were able to pull players away from the B site, and B became the weak side bomb site in this setting, but Perfecto overperforming here, using beautiful utility to just stop Complexity in their tracks. And maybe it's a question of time that Complexity left on the clock, the fact that they felt like they had to force the issue there, coming back to bite them, but Perfecto does step up huge. That is just great utility from him, just a great hold, despite the fact that B has been broken open a few times.
Surely that's going to be a frustrating round to look at when you watch the replay of all of this, because you think, man, we actually did it. We pulled Electronic back. There were only 2 people. We double naded the right position. He's down. He's almost dead.
He's red. Yeah.
And then it still doesn't really work out. Electronic, nice sneak around, and I think they've had that fight once before.
Yes.
S-Tag in the same position, and Electronic, he remembered.
Yeah, he gets the better of him this time. And now Complexity playing with the man disadvantage. This isn't a situation that they've been in too many times on these gun rounds. So we'll see if BlameUp has any kind of plans for how to get back in it. He's been doing a great job calling thus far. And like we said in the previous round, that was actually just so well put together. Just Perfecto going above and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's all you need. BlameF, he's thinking about it. Oh, the timing is unreal. I mean, if he had been looking, of course BlameF is going to be dead. Molotov on top, and Poison, he couldn't see anything. And unfortunately, the smoke behind him meant that none of his teammates could really help out either. So we're back in a 4-on-3. That kill for BlameF. Could have done something more, but now they're in a bit of trouble. Cold walking through the Molotov, trying to get the entry. And again, they're a little bit low on time here, so they just have to keep on pushing. Electronic with 1 more kill, JKS. Although some pretty good spray at range, but it will be the round for Na'Vi. They tie it back up now, 7-7, leading into the 15th round.
Great counter flashes as those players were trying to come in.
Yes.
Poison, it looked like he was putting together that situation well, but the teamwork from Na'Vi overtook him right there. The man that you can't see on the screen, Boomich, setting 2 of those up.
There are some players that are just really good at walking through that monster tunnel looking for kills, even on their own. I once watched a bunch of games where Flusher was playing against Astralis and Glaive was defending that B-bomb site, and Flusher would just walk in and kill Glaive all the time. Like, he just did like it was nothing.
Flusher is one of the signature B-lurkers for me. Yeah, just all time so good at it. Had such great reads and knew the challenges he should and should not take.
And it's counterintuitive if you're holding the B-bomb side. You're thinking, then really not just going to walk through the tunnel because that's mega high risk, but maybe that's partially why it works. He actually hit that shot. All right. BlameF is down to 24 health. Bit is, once again, really far forward, and last time this gave him a cool flank and a double kill. This is a little bit later in the game, so they have better rifles now.
And you can see how the entire Na'Vi defense shifts because of it. They only leave Perfecto to watch what should be the only opening in Monster, and the rest of Na'Vi is all over this A site. Bit should be ready also for a fast flank if the A hit commences. And at this point, Complexity, they don't have enough utility to call too much else. Oh, really? They're going to try to come back down. Okay. This is where Bit should thrive.
Very hard for them to check that he's here, even if they suspect it. How do you do that?
Oh, S-Attack, though.
Yeah, he's walking down one side. They're going to jump down. Oh, they absolutely knew. That smells of having watched a bunch of replays. That looks like something you would never do unless you knew about that play for Bit. Perfecto once again at it. Another triple spray down. 18 seconds on the clock, and he didn't even reload for the quad kill. And BlameF low from earlier. Perfecto hoping to get that ace. Are they going to set it up for him? It looked like maybe there was a flashbang there. 7 seconds, and on the other side, BlameF, the last target left. Perfecto ends it with an ace, and it's 8-7 in favor of Na'Vi. What a fantastic finish to the first half. Second half is going to be coming up after the break, so stay tuned.
Did not see you go. That was really funny. That's not it. That's not the timing. Oh, it fell down. And look. Wait for me! No, I forgot like where to go, even though I wound up. Nice. Really feeling my movement here. Oh, this one. Nice. Nah, man. Thanks. Duh. I have to catch a timing. That's not it. Oh, that's not it? Did not see you go. That was really funny. That's not it. That's not the timing. You have a different tactic on this. I don't know what I have, but it doesn't work. No. Alright. Read the game, read the game, read. I'm trying, man. I'm reading the game. What play am I doing? It's the nerves. I'm still stuck here. That's okay, I'm trying to make up for time. No! What am I doing, man? I had it, and now I just don't throw this. But my brain is not working. Okay, up and down with you. So I'm sweating more than... Oh, Jesus, man. I don't know. Okay, I'll try another side. Nope. Oh. How is that possible even to fail that jump? I'm asking myself, and then I failed it 2 times. It's the sweat, man. I'm more nervous. I can't hold my gear properly. I don't know where to go now. Ah, I'm done. Nice.
There's a real boomer versus sumo moment in that jump challenge. I say that laughing, but I would be Carrigan times 10 in that moment. I'm glad they're not making me do it, man.
It's so those spikes just feel so random after a while.
Yeah.
I think they're programmed to get them in the beginning, but they get hard later. All right. We're in the pistol though. And JKS taking a duel with Electronic, but no, S-Attack is the first player to strike. A push from long A has found quite a bit of information, and so Simple finds that it is time to activate. They've lost control towards A. He knows he needs to take this space back, and there's only a lone player in Poison. Oh, he pushes Simple. He still manages to stay alive, and Poison wins that fight. There is a trade, but the players are already all over this.
What a tremendous risk for Complexity, putting 3 people on the A-bomb side like that early on, but it seems to be working. Electronic, he can't find the kill, and he's trying to find some cover as well. Now, coming in from the L-bend in a second, maybe a chance for Cold to do something as well. Boomich on his own, and it's Blamef instead to pick up a double kill. And Complexity, I think it's still a pretty big risk. But something that I like about the way Poison played that, he had that smoke in hand, throws it down in front of himself. That tells me he's just trying to buy time. He knows that he's on his own, and dying is just the one thing that can't happen right away. So just falling back to buy even the 5 or 10 seconds that he bought, I think that's super important.
Yeah, that's a very valuable play to his team. You could see that the rotations came in too.
Yeah.
That did help out a lot. So he deserves some credit, even though the stats page won't give him any.
No, that would be hard to make stats on, wouldn't it?
Just buying time. Denying
time.
space. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we've got a Deagle on Simple. Can't really complain about it. It's, you know, some players they always have a license to do that.
There's a select few.
Yeah. Simple. Nico, probably.
Yeah.
Can make a little list.
Do Zaiwu. Yeah. We'll see if he's able to make it work. But Electronic with the P250 takes down Blame, and now Simple finds his time to strike again. Cold goes down, leaving simply Poison on the site. Na'Vi are a little bit hesitant, though, about committing towards this, although it is causing Complexity some concern, too. There's no instant rush onto the site despite the double kill, and now Complexity are trying to figure out if there is a reroute afoot from Na'Vi, but they might be digging their own grave. This push towards short is going to lead to Poison being so isolated. He has to do so much on his own, and he decides to push on forward. He's looking for something himself.
I was going to say, he knows STAG and JKS are going to be walking up behind him. He just has to stay alive. He's in a similar position like Boomich was when Bit was flanking. Just living, because as soon as he dies, they can turn around and look for this. 20 seconds, and this is such a play. That just saves the round completely. The bomb is on the ground. Bit has to try and go and pick it up, but JKS is still out there. Even if he finds S-Tag, it's not going to be quite enough. Picked up a Deagle and a P250, but trying to get onto the bomb side, never going to happen. And Poison had finally fallen all the way back. I really like that. That's some great communication.
There's some great macro proactivity coming out from Complexity right now. That push through short was the play. They could have rotated, but then they would have been in the dark the entire time. It just gives you so much more confidence, and you're the one that's in control of the situation as opposed to being at the whim of your opponents. But now Na'Vi will be on a gun round. They found a couple of kills in the previous, so there aren't... It's not a full upgrade, but there's a couple that had to be repurchased. And we'll see if they're able to tie this up once again.
Bit of a boost. Nade to the common position. Not quite going to get that job done. Electronic, though, looked like a perfect setup to just get a clean headshot from Electronic, but the bullets went somewhere else. And they're going to be fine with that, even if Cold is a bit low on health. If they can get this round, Complexity, especially if they can upgrade to some of those AKs, that would be such a big win.
Right. We've got Boomich peeling off of B. The bomb is still back pretty far, and Na'Vi have made headway towards A, but Poison still remains in this long bathroom. You can potentially catch off Boomich if there's a timing, but walking onto the site is Simple too. Na'Vi somehow have figured out that this is a possibility, and they're checking it. Poison will lose the fight. Nice headshot from Bit, and now Simple. He's so far forward right now that Complexity might not expect it, but Cold is always ready.
Yeah, even on 17 health, he gets a job done. 30 seconds on the clock. There is an HE and a Molotov left on Blamef, so that could get interesting, although he's gone down. Someone has to pick that up. I wanted to maybe try and delay the bomb with that. Maybe they could get it onto the site. Didn't quite work out. 2-on-3 and a flank coming in from JKS. That's a deep line into the bomb site. Taps away a couple of times. Boomich is up there, and he's going to move forward into the bank. He doesn't want to get shot at the back at all, and he takes down Cold, who was low from earlier. Electronic with the assist, and Bit with the headshot on S-Tag. Now leaving JKS on his own with a Galil in hand, and he's getting double-teamed by Boomich with the triple, Bit with the double, and now the equalizer. They don't allow Complexity to get away with anything. early on in the second half here.
Such a great post plan from Na'Vi there. That flash to slow down JKS2 was just great foresight, and the pushes into Bank and the jump up respectively from both of the remaining players from Na'Vi, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to stop the threat from one position so that you can focus on the one that's coming later in the round. Just well put together from Na'Vi, despite the fact that they lost the opening pick, and Cole did such a great job to stop Simple too. It looked like Complexity were in control.
Now we've got Deagles and an M4. They did buy everything in this round, assuming that they would have had to have double decode anyway, so this situation long could be very interesting if someone swings really far. If you swing far enough that you fight poison, possible that Cold and BlameF are going to be just jumping on you right away. Yeah, thinking about it. There's the flash to set it up. He's out in the open. No return happens. Bit gets away with it in broad daylight.
Just getting away with murder.
Yeah.
And Cold and BlameF, they know the setup has been found out. They back on up. Electronic still dancing with this player towards B. That's the lone rifle in Esatag, who would be there to contest him. But this should be a pretty clean-cut round for Na'Vi, as they are now grouping up. Complexity without much information to work with. Looks like they're stacking the B site. And Na'Vi is showing some fight here. They were able to avert that possible long play from Complexity, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, we don't really know yet how Complexity are going to be planning to play the CT side. I feel like Na'Vi, they took some risks every once in a while, but there are teams that play very aggressive outside of the B bomb side on the CT side, and try and get out there and take some of the fights a little bit more, even pushing through smokes in the monster tunnel. You can flash your way through. You could have a third guy inside of the bomb site that flashes out to try and do that. But yeah, we don't know yet, obviously, with the rifle situation the way that it is. Na'Vi's, again, they seem to be so confident in just making those cool rotation calls in the middle of the round, and we're right a lot of the time once again here. Not as extreme as it was against OG, but still pretty good.
Yeah, you can tell in those moments that Na'Vi are either the luckiest team in the world or they've done their homework. I tend to lean towards the latter.
Yeah. You feel like if it was luck, there's got to be an expiration date on that. You know, you can be lucky some of the time, but probably not.
You wouldn't do it 5 out of 6 times correctly. Yeah.
We have to rule that out. 20th round, and yeah, the force up means they're going to have another round of just hanging out with the Deagle and the M4 here, which is fine. Although I would love to see them try and go look for the fight a bit more with these guns. That's just my personal preference.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's more exciting, and I feel like it just feels more disappointing if you're sat in a corner somewhere hoping that they show up for the perfect spray, but then the bomb goes down to the other side of the map. You're like, all right. Never really got to do anything with that.
Right. Yeah, making sure that the rifle gets involved is always an option. We see that there's a triple pistol setup here on the B site, but Na'Vi not keen on hitting anywhere just yet. They're clearing everything out. Okay, well, I say it, and Electronic just walks out on a solo mission. Always looking for more info, this guy is. Very good at it, he is also.
Yeah, and he's so unafraid in this round of Molotovs and HEs or anything else. He just knows that is not going to be coming. There is a single flash on Cold, so it would be kind of interesting if he could pop it in, but he's actually stood as the front guy in the bomb side, more or less, so couldn't throw that flash for himself or anyone else either. Simple, clears, and he is flashed actually in that moment, but still, they're able to get onto the site. A little bit of a deep nade here. It would have to hit Electronic to do anything, and that's just not even an option right now. Yeah, save the gun. Now, I don't want it to be in action anymore. Nice start in the second half here for Na'Vi. They're about to have a third round in a row, building a decent economy of their own. They're looking to run this game right back, and it's been so close all along that this is already getting a bit dangerous. 11-9 the scoreline.
Yeah, something we might not see in the upcoming round would be an op on Poison. That's something that I'm sure Complexity would have wanted for their first full gun round, but I'm not sure it's in the cards for them, given the fact that he's only sitting on 1950.
It has to be S-Tag to to pick it up and... I mean, no, he can't do that.
JKS would have to go glass. I don't know about that.
That seems like it's way too risky.
No, that just doesn't seem like it would fit the complexity.
Just buy the scout, it's fine.
With how explosive he has been in the last 18 months or so,
yeah,
I wouldn't completely mind it. Also, he would get more utility too.
And it's so much more fun playing with the scout.
That's it,
Just
right?
so quick.
Exactly.
It really I know the movement speed isn't actually faster, but it feels like it. It feels like I'm actually gaining movement speed over the knife with this. I don't know why. Like,
it's when you're scoped, you just feel like everything's moving so quickly. But he goes for the rifle. We've got a 5 rifle round for complexity here. We can see that they have a lot of players towards B. Are they doing a triple stack on a gun round?
Yes,
they are. Wow, that will catch Na'Vi off guard. There is so little chance that they will suspect that in a round such as this.
And with the 4th man still on the bomb side, which means Poison is on his own.
Yeah.
You're right. This is something you expect in an eco round or something. Ooh, they just cancel it out. Perfecto might have heard it, but Kitty put together the puzzle pieces.
It just as easily could have been a jump spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so unless he has great directional hearing. Electronic, though, on a mission once again to try to find an entry outside this monster tunnel. He's made a lot of ground already here. And that is excellent counter utility. He's stuck behind those smokes. We'll see what kind of procedures Na'Vi have to deal with this, but oh, that is a rude entry from Perfecto. Just shooting right through the wall, cold dead on the bridge, and now it's up to JKS to try to find something. Electronic spots what seemed to be a foot, and he presses on forward with a double kill. Na'Vi have taken over this bomb site in such a disgusting fashion.
It's so stupid. Electronic is obviously the one that's meant to be getting the entry frags, but then it's actually Perfecto with a wall bang spray. It's like, how? How does that even work? And what do you do if you're on the bomb site? You're thinking like, wait, why are we getting wall banged if there's a person on the bomb site to shoot us anyway? And Electronic, yeah, he must have. I don't know how he could have seen that, but he did, obviously. Blame F and Poison. This is you do the force up, you get completely hard countered, and you have to do another round of save after that, and you finally get the rifles, and then this happens. You just get blown up, and they don't even get to save that one on Blame F Poison. He could be found technically by Boomich, although looks like he's kind of running. Oh, he's maybe back for it. All right, he's going to get that kill at the very least, but it's a 12-9 lead for Na'Vi. Things are starting to look real good here.
That is just that's uncalled for.
I know. It's very rude.
Wow. This was also just very pleasing to watch. Electronic just getting the better of him there. He had to have seen some kind of pixel there. These smokes can be so finicky in terms of who can see through what and where, but Electronic definitely had a beat. Whether it was, or it could have just been game sense too, but
never know. Although I do always associate crazy smoke plays with Electronic because he popularized, at least in my mind, this whole thing of standing inside of the smokes and waiting for them to fade and then shooting first. You know, when he started doing that on Inferno, it was a bit of a revelation. So Simple will pick up one shot there and a flank or a bit of a swing coming out there for Bit, but he couldn't actually beat Poison. Interesting. He didn't even do that much damage to him. And that's the only M4 in play right now for the complexity side. So it real unfortunate that there isn't a second player out there that can pick up the AK. That would have been cool.
Ooh, Esatag does the little skill boost, the self jump, and we'll see if Perfecto even clears it. This is a great position to be in. The only problem is you do have to make noise at some point in the round.
Yeah.
To fall. So that's always unfortunate. You always hope that you just get the one, can retrieve the gun, but they're not going his direction. They're going towards B. And yeah, right through that window, Esatag, all your hopes and dreams of making this boost work.
They're not. They're not even going into the sewer area either. They're just going to be coming through the monster tunnel. Bit of a double setup. Are they going to check for the second player? Well, the Molotov will kind of force his hand. And Cold, if not for the grenade, maybe could have had a second kill there. That would have been fun. Poison showing up for a bit of a flank. And he actually gets the kill. 1 versus 3. He's now at least got the first one in there. Boomich and Perfecto are left. The bomb has gone down, and how do you get this job done? He does not have a kit or any nades or anything else, and now he's been spotted. So this crossfire is almost impossible to make his way through. If they don't give him a challenge early on, he has to walk onto the bomb site, and he's probably going to be shot from one direction or the other. Such is the nature of it. I'd say, I don't know. He has a lot of money in the bank, but his teammates don't. So I still think the rifle might be just more valuable. He didn't think so. And it will be Na'Vi on 13 rounds.
Yeah. The saving grace is that Complexity will have another buy here. Poison will finally find the op on the CT side now. And Complexity have to change something up. These standard kind of passive approaches have not been working for them. Poison's found some mileage with the rifle, but now he has to do it with the op.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see how they change this up. Not quite the last chance, but it's getting close. And given how well they play this map so far, Complexity, man, it would be disappointing if they just got wiped out at the beginning of the second half here. You want to see them try and do just a little bit more. The Molotov there didn't spread on to Blamef. If that was the intention, then he can stick around. Navi got Electronic on his own on one side of the map. I actually thought he would go into the B-bomb side then, but he's just covering outside, which is fine. Now, does Bit think that the Molotov did clear that position? Because he's making a lot of noise, and if he did, that can actually cost a lot here for Navi in this round. They're acting like they don't think anyone is there. Blamef, on the other hand, is ice cold and waiting for someone else to show up, and get a little bit of a peek there. He's going to be found at Perfecto. A follow-up headshot, and Simple will wreck Poison, and that round is exploded.
That was a great take from Perfecto there. Remaining players at B, Electronic, nice shot onto JKS, but this round is over as Perfecto and Simple completely dismantled that A setup. That was really surprising. It did feel like Navi thought that there was probably no one towards party. They could make their way towards long. In fact, that would probably be the next contest for them in their eyes, yet Perfecto just does such a great job along with Simple in terms of taking out those players. And yeah, he was probably surprised. He didn't look like he was ready for that.
I really hate that position that Blamef is in. Not for any other angle, I don't mind playing it, but if I'm playing it towards connector, because there's almost no light on that stairwell, it's so hard to spot people when they walk up there. I feel like that was the worst position that Blamef could have had that fight for.
Yeah, you usually see a setup like this have a player at the top of connector that can look down. I mean, even Navi has ran that setup before. But yeah, it just doesn't work out for Complexity. They finally tried something out of the bomb site, something a little bit more just aggressive in terms of positioning, and it comes back to bite them. But that second kill from Perfecto is something he was not supposed to find. That was just a great headshot from him, and it was the proper just attempt at a trade from Complexity. It just doesn't work out, and sometimes that's where the firepower comes into play. And Perfecto has looked very sharp in this game. He's sitting on a 20-10 scoreline at the moment, and that is off of 2 multi-frag rounds in that B bomb site, one of which he found an ace, and another which was a 4K. So 9 of those 20 kills are off of just incredible one-man defenses.
Yeah, he's really been playing well.